Hello, my name is Charlotte. I love colorful and sparkly makeup, and welcome to my first Shop My Stash video. I'm really excited about making this kind of video, but I'm also really excited just about like having a little Shop My Stash for myself for the next month, the first month of 2024. I think I'll probably refresh this in February, depending on how I feel about the items. I know this isn't the most exciting way to see a Shop My Stash sort of hands style, but I haven't figured out yet like how I'm gonna actually organize the Shop My Stash because I do have like an everyday makeup area, but it's sort of the way I store things is very much based on the size and shape of those things and the size and shape of my containers. So it's gonna take a little bit of finagling before I feel like that is gonna be aesthetic to look at for you. So hopefully I'll have that kind of thing figured out by next time. For now, I'm just going to sort of bring all my items into the overhead space, think through them, talk through them, make some picks, and then I'll show you at the end the collection that I've gathered. If you happen to be new here in this channel, I like to play with makeup in a way that doesn't center buying new things. This is a great way to do that. I'm on a 3-month no-buy right now from late December to late March. So this is like a great way to just sort of refresh my makeup mind and keep things feeling new and novel. That's the kind of content I love to watch, to make. If that's interesting to you, please like and subscribe and do all those things. And I hope to see you back here on my channel again. But without further ado, I'm going to start with primers and just kind of move through these things in the order that people typically move through them. So starting out with primers, I don't have or use a ton of primer, but if you caught my like plan to pan in 2024 video, I am trying to finish this primer and hit pan on this primer. And this one is the liquid poreless putty primer. Oh, it's a liquid but also putty. Interesting. Anyway, this is the liquid version of this one. I like this better, like I like the delivery mechanism better, but I want to, focus on this one in order to hit my panning goal on it. And I think that this is a good time of year for me to be using something like this. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this one from my Shop My Stash. I have to hold these because my whole living room is on a slant. I have just kind of combined complexion, like foundation and concealers here. And yes, this is technically a primer, but I do use this as like a coverage product. I typically keep these out on my vanity, this one and this one. I pair them together and I'm kind of trying to finish both of them, but this one has been the thing I've been reaching for like going out of the house. I just feel like it wears better and kind of looks better. So I'm probably gonna keep these in heavy rotation this month, but the things that I want to focus on are this foundation and this concealer because these are more full coverage. They're not full coverage, but they're more full coverage, and they're more this one is a lighter tone that I don't really wear in the summer, so I want to make sure to get use on it during the winter. So I'm gonna pull this out from my Shop My Stash. And as for this foundation, yeah, it's just again like in the winter I'm gonna get more use out of a proper foundation. Everything else I use is extremely light coverage. And I did actually just franken this because this shade is too yellow for me, and I wanted to like franken it to a shade that is better so that I don't have to like mix things on my face. I just filmed that and I'm not yet sure if it's successful. I need to test out the one that I have sort of mixed together. So if it works, I will be pulling in that compact that I decanted it into and mixed it into for my Shop My Stash, and if that is a failure, then I'll just pull this full bottle and I will mix things on my face. These are my bronzers and contour items. This is new to me. I just got this Phytosurgence one toward the end of 2023 and it's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. I love using this so much, but I'm gonna put this away for now. I definitely have no trouble reaching for that. It's like my most effortless bronzer. But the two things I think I want to pull for January are This powder, sorry about the reflection, this powder bronzer from Romance, it's definitely very light toned, so that makes it appropriate for the winter, but it's also, it's my only powder bronzer, and I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of use on a powder bronzer in the summertime, so I'm going to try and get some usage on that now. And the other thing I want to pull is this contour. I was really having a lot of fun with this in the fall, but then I kind of fell off using it during the holidays, and I think it's a good like January option. I plan to focus more on like cool toned looks in January because it's basically one of the only times of year that I do cool toned looks, so it's one of the only times of year that my cool toned makeup like gets a lot of play. I don't think that this only goes with cool toned looks, but I think it will go especially well with cool toned looks, so I want to take advantage of that. So I'm going to take these for my Shop My Stash. Okay, for highlighters, it's going to be a similar kind of deal. I am excited to focus on some cooler toned shades that I haven't used for a while. This is the shade Pearl from Physicians Formula. It's just like an icy kind of white. I barely used that at all last year because I was focusing so hard on panning this one, Lunch Money from ColourPop. They're not very different. I'd say this one's just a little bit more neutral, warm, and this one's a little bit more cool tones. But yeah, this is gonna be good for like icy January kind of makeup. And then similarly, this is kind of a fun option. This is the shade Weird Sister from an indie brand called Crow and Pebble. They sell loose makeup, and so I don't always pull this out because it kind of just like the format makes it get lost in the shuffle a little bit. But this is an icy purple highlight. It's not like a duochrome, it's just a very icy light, like lilac shade, I guess. So that's pretty fun for some like blue, purple, silvery kinds of looks. And I think that's it. All right, blush and lipsticks are kind of the reason that I need to shop my stash because I am beginning to get overwhelmed with the idea of rotating through these. Yeah, I accumulated a lot more blushes at the end of 2023 than I expected to. Oh, I also have this sample. All right, let's see here. So again, I'm looking at cool toned options because I want to pair them with cool toned looks, but also because those things are the most likely to get lost in the shuffle, given that I just like prefer warm blush tones. So keeping that in mind, I'm gonna just pull out the warmest shades I'm seeing. Definitely, these are, well, these are the more cool toned blushes in my collection. This one is not at all. This is like a warm peach blush, but it's my newest blush and I'm very excited about it and I love it and it's like the perfect shade for me. But I'm gonna put this away for now because I know it will just get a lot of play in months to come. I just realized I didn't pull out the lipsticks that I use as blushes, but that's okay. I'm not gonna pull any of those for this rotation. I'm torn. Definitely this one because I need to troubleshoot this. I need to play around with this some more. These guys, I don't know. I love all of these so much. It's been a while since I got a lot of use out of this. But then I feel like I should pick a powder blush. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this guy out for my Shop My Stash because the other ones, like they're not aggressively cool toned. I do wear these all year and I'm gonna lean more for cream formulas in future months. This isn't really a cream anymore. I think it was once supposed to be a cream blush, but it's now very dry. But I think that pulling this semi-cool toned powder blush is gonna be my best bet, just because this is the time of year I'm most likely to wear powders. And this, by the way, is the shade Watermelon from e.l.f. I also talked about this in my plan to pan. So if I want to get good usage on this, I'm gonna have to get started in the winter. So I think I'm gonna just pull these out as focus shades and then pull for whatever else I feel like throughout the month. All right, lips is a category that is completely out of control for me at the moment. I am feeling really overwhelmed with these. You can see why. Yeah, I'm not used to having this many lip products, and I gravitate towards the same colors. A lot of these are very similar to each other. But anyway, I talked about this in my plan to pan, and I definitely want to pull this out for its last few uses in January. I kind of forgot to talk about this in my plan to pan, but I would like to finish this year. It's just a pink, basic pink gloss from Essence, and it's kind of leans cool. So I don't know, I'm thinking about pulling that out. It's also a good springtime color though. And this is kind of similar in vibe, I think, to this Romance Glasting Water Tint in Rose Stream. This color wasn't what I expected it to be. Okay, that's a little bit darker. This one might be more like a, I feel like when this goes on my lips, like it could be a red gloss, like a very, very toned down red. Maybe that's not the vibe I'm looking for. I also think I'll probably pull this Black Cherry. This is the e.l.f. I forget what this lipstick is called. Sheer Slick in Black Cherry. And this is supposed to be a dupe for like Black Honey, which I don't know. I just wanted to try because it was viral. But I know this shade doesn't suit me, so I'm not going to pull for it at most times of year. So I definitely want to get some use on this. I like it on myself when it's extremely sheared out, so I don't expect to go through this very fast. I think I'm just gonna pull this and I can just put it in my... Actually, you know what? I don't know if I need two glosses. I think I will, I think I'm gonna just pull this for my Shop My Stash right now, and then I'll come back for this pink one if and when I use up the other one this month, if I want to like sort of replace it with another cool toned gloss, but I don't think I need two cool toned glosses to focus on at the same time. All right, what else? This is another cool toned e.l.f. like sheer lipstick. It's the Hydrating Core Lip Shine, and it's the shade Happy. Oh, wow, it looks so similar to Black Cherry right now, but I actually don't think that they're the same. I think this one's quite a bit more like nude. I've just like put Black Cherry on there very sheerly. But it's still cooler toned than I really like on myself. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this ultimately, but I think I want to pull it out just to play around with it. I'm more likely to like it in January than I am in February or March. I may be going about this totally wrong because I feel like I'm pulling a lot of things that are comparable to each other just because I'm going for all my cool toned nudes. But this is another one. This is Merit lipstick in the shade Baby. And it's definitely a different formula from these others. It's like also a hydrating lipstick, but it's more milky and less translucent, I would say, even though they're all sheer formulas. It's pretty. I quite like it, but it is definitely verging on like dead person lips on me. My complexion really cannot handle cool toned lipsticks whatsoever. But I've heard that these go bad quite quickly, so I honestly kind of regret buying this. Like, I like the formula. I think I just probably should have chosen a different shade. I'm not totally sure I'm going to be able to finish this before it goes bad. But anyway, I'm going to pull this out for January. See what I can do on it. And then finally, this is yet another cool toned nude, but this one is much more neutral and much more wearable for me. So I think this is just going to be a good fallback, I think, to throw on before I go out. This is the shade Los Angeles from NYX. It's funny, it's so comparable to Baby, but I just feel like it has that tiny bit more warmth, that tiny bit more brown that makes it into what I consider a very, very wearable shade, and Baby is just missing that just ever so slightly. I really, really love that shade Los Angeles. It's a really, really great nude for my complexion. It's not a My Lips But Better, but it's like a, I'm wearing a lipstick today, but it's a nude lipstick. It's that kind of shade. And then for when I do want a warm toned lip, I am going to keep this one around, CA Love, because I do abstractly want to make a lot of progress on this year, and I really love this. It's a very warm brick nude, kind of gesturing toward a red. I'm also wondering if I just want to pull out this because I don't get a lot of use on this. This is the shade Cairo. It's definitely a concealer lips color. If you wear it with a lip liner, I think it can be cool. I have such a hard time with really light lip shades, like showing texture on my lips. That's probably inevitable because they're just sort of emphasizing shadows. They're not hiding anything. So I don't know. That look gives me a slightly wintry vibe, so I'm wondering if it's worth pulling this out as well, just because I don't always reach for it, so this might be a good reason to. Okay, this is a lot of basically nude lipsticks to focus on for 1 month, but it's my first Shop My Stash. If this is too much, I'll know for next time. I'll learn my lesson, probably. So I think I'm gonna stick with all of these. Again, I'm gonna switch out the lip gloss if I finish this. And yeah, I'll just see how that goes, see how many times I use each one. So these are the focus items I've picked out for January. Very lipstick heavy. But yeah, I'm excited to try this model. I will say, uh, I track my eyeshadow usage all the time, all year. I do that as part of my Project 100 uses for eyeshadow specifically. And I find it really fun to track makeup for either the Project 100 uses or for a project pan, but I have never actually succeeded in tracking like my full face of makeup. It's just kind of too burdensome. It wasn't fun when I tried to do that. However, I am kind of interested in incorporating that in some way into my Shop My Stash. So maybe as long as something's in my Shop My Stash, I will tally up my uses so that by the end of the year I can say that I got, you know, at least X number of uses or that I got X number of uses within my Shop My Stash. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but I think it could be fun. And also I can like report back at the end of this month on how many uses I got on each item. But other than that, that's it. I'm sorry I don't have a container yet to like satisfyingly put these into, but next time, hopefully I will. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Please stay tuned for the rest of this series, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye!